Slijedi jedan povratak u realnost i nešto što nas vjerovatno sve čeka u bližoj budućnosti. Sažeto je to AI kao podrška arhitekturi, odnosno od kreativnog procesa do zakonodavnog okvira u graditeljstvu i arhitekturi Bosne i Hercegovine. A u stvari, ova prezentacija istražuje načine interakcije sa vještačkom inteligencijom, njene potencijale da proširi, ali ne zamijeni ljudsku kreativnost, povezujući analogno stvaralaštvo i digitalne tehnologije. Fokus je na praktičnim primjenama kroz prilagođene GPT modele u kontekstu zakonodavnog okvira za graditeljstvo i arhitekturu u Bosni i Hercegovini. Danas sa nama je Creative Technologist, Architect in the first place, Veljko Ćirić iz Srbije.
Hvala vam na pozivu, zaista mi velika čast da budemo ovdje. Uvijek volim da dođem u Sarajevo. So these are the screenshots from Blade Runner, a film I watched as a kid numerous times that greatly influenced my decision to pursue architecture. But also, its themes raise the questions about our relationship with artificial intelligence, two fields I've been exploring and interplaying in my recent work. Now, fast forward some 40 plus years, and the world around us is starting to look more and more something like this.
AI, generative AI, generative AI, generative AI, AI is AI, AI. He uses AI to bring AI.
Now, in the meantime, I finished my architecture studies and worked in practice for almost a decade. Later, I shifted mainly to digital product design, where I came into early contact with tools like ChatGPT and Midjourney, witnessing their dramatic improvements at incredibly fast pace. And then, in 2023, I was drawn to a new opportunity when I discovered a master program in Barcelona focused on human interaction with AI. Here, one of the interesting parts on the program was meeting others, older professionals like me, trying to bring AI into their own fields. From writing to medicine to industrial design, for me, architecture was the obvious choice, but I also knew something, like as an architect and creators, we have a visual mindset, not always a verbal one. Typing words into some chat interface or fields to generate images didn't feel like the most effective or intuitive way. And after some research and work, this was the result.
How this?
Obviously, the first step was to connect smart pen or mouse, getting closer to user-creative impulses. But still felt too digital, so I wanted to take a step further, and I went back to drawing table. So I will leave this till the end. And of course, after a few lines of code, I came up with the second prototype.
Sure.
We've been to a swap because she's goes.
And here was the second prototype, with the real-time integration of pencil and AI. It's like allowing non-technical people to produce digital outputs and showcase their idea, like they haven't had a chance before. share some output examples as well. And so here the concept of connecting the oldest creative tool with the latest technology came to light. Now the next round of this concept has happened at the Microsoft Garage exhibition in Belgrade. I had the privilege to develop the project together with my dear friends, an visual mastermind and a village from Sarajevo, and the artist Nikola Mihailovic Kori. So what was the idea? Here are some of the works from Nikola, abstract paintings, and the idea was to train an AI model on Nicola's paintings and let people draw in his style. This way, AI could amplify both imagination and direction in the creative process, becoming a true creative partner, not just executor. So, as the visitors picked the style, they could draw in the artist's language and see images appear in real time. One of the best feedback moments came from people who began by saying, "Oh, I don't know how to draw, I don't have a talent." Once they started drawing and saw how the AI responded to their lines, they got inspired to keep going, finding themselves in creative inspiration loop with an AI.
That's the
Now, this opened a possibility to create infinite variation from the same drawing, forming a new kind of relationship between an artist and the public. So here are some more examples of painting reference and the user output. Obviously, the freeform prompt is one of my favorites, with adding just hand to the prompt. Now, since the main topic of the exhibition was linking analog and AI, we experimented with using a painting as a prompt. So the results demonstrated how AI can reveal hidden potential with existing artworks while still preserving the original human creation. The animation uncovered temporal dimensions inside the static compositions, opening new relationship between traditional media and computational interpretation. And finally, we had an interactive installation where visitors didn't just observe the art, they became part of it. At its core, it was a large-scale generative AI projection that responded in real time to visitor movements. These shapes weren't random, they were guided by custom AI trained on 4 distinct painting series by the artist, allowing the system to shape the environment through his visual language. Around that time, I was invited by the Association of Serbian Architectural Practices to create a series of workshops on AI in architecture. As I explored emerging AI tools that could already generate floor plans, objects, and even small BIM models, as an architect who believed in creative process and sees architecture as much more than legal constraint, I realized that it made sense to approach the subject from bottom up, setting a small rather going top down. So the first step was to ask, what can I build to help architects to access proper information? And here is the tool I created for Bosnia to provide reliable legal sources for architects. You can scan it if you want. So the next step was visualization, aiming for speed and precision. With workflows that combine elevation drawings and material mood boards, we can now generate realistic images and videos in under 2 minutes. It gets much more interesting when these workflows take over redundant tasks in project documentation, leaving architects with more time to focus on creative processes. And of course, when AI is gradually added to the weak spots, it amplifies and streamlines our daily workflows. The next trend is digital twins, where AI becomes the meeting point between architecture and many other industries and disciplines. Models are no longer static but dynamic databases, giving us valuable insights to optimize project processes and address climate changes. Today, we already see entire cities developing their own digital twins. Just to give a sense of scope, this is one of my favorites. On the construction side, AI is helping us discover and optimize new materials, opening possibilities for stronger and more sustainable and efficient building solutions. That brings us to new ways of building and expressing architecture. The next big step that is coming is autonomy of construction. This shift is setting the stage for construction sites that run more independently with architects and engineers focusing on higher-level decision and coordination. Now, drawing on my experience working with architecture companies on AI, I've put together this roadmap to help guide adoption in their workflows. First is education. The second one is mapping workflows and weak points, identify tasks where AI immediately adds value, such as transcript documentation, code checks, and research. Starting small, creating small GPT assistants and workflow organization, testing small automations before introducing more complex systems. 4, AI agents and orchestration of AI tools, as maximum efficiency is achieved when multiple AI tools are used in unified workflow. Record processes, create prompt libraries, and share knowledge with colleagues. Measure time savings, error reduction, and lower cost of external services are key indicators of success. And finally, repeat, as AI is introduced gradually through testing, measurement, and continuous adaptation. Now, I would like to share a few words on AI and user interaction dynamics. AI is the first user interface paradigm in 60 years. The user no longer tells the system how to do something, but what they want to achieve, which shifts the center of control, changing the control paradigm. This means we are not breaking work into steps, but learning to describe outcomes directly, which changes our thought processes. The first one used the old Turing machine, adding data by hand without knowing what would come out, similar to today's prompts with collection of images, just guessing the result. In the second, we spend a lot of time going from one line, surface shape, and word to complete the project. While the third emerges with AI that recognizes our intentions and delivers outcomes directly. For example, like here. Like here in ChatGPT, we can now render the image of a room directly from a floor plan. Or here, getting AI inspired by the piece of paper. And we all know who got there first. Now, this opportunity created an unprecedented explosion in output, as we managed to produce the same amount of images in 1.5 years as in the previous 1.5 centuries. AI currently comes with the flaws that raises the questions. One of them is dataset bias, where most of the world is unprecedented in the data as AI sees. It often reinforces what we say, creating an echo chamber that validates us without real critique. And finally, hallucinations. When the system invents the facts or the outputs remain one of the biggest risks. And finally, I would like to share a few words aiming for a meaningful dialogue with an AI. Working with an AI is like training a magnifying glass for a telescope. You see further, but only if you know where to look and how to interpret what you find. AI excels at creative divergence, and grunt work, freeing us to think critically, but it also risks trapping us in echo chambers, where prompts shape the path and AI passively affirms without external validation. We became curators of possibility, shifting from execution to shaping creative sandboxes through dialogue, delegation, and ethical framing. Prompting isn't a single command, it's a conversational loop that treats AI as collaborator, not deterministic machine, and let the outcomes evolve with each exchange. AI handles a brute force generation. We focus on emotional resonance, like calculator crunches the numbers while we choose the equation. The relationship becomes transformative when we choose tasks wisely and maintain intentional control. And finally, I truly believe that AI should amplify human capabilities rather than replace them, showcasing the values of those who use it. Hvala, Sarajevo.
Hvala, Veljko. Nekako tu još malo s nama. Jeste li se zabrinuli ili jedva čekate da počnete koristiti AI? Ili već koristite? Ako imamo neki komentar ili pitanje iz publike, možemo... Hvalite.
Hi,
Možemo mi sjesti kad već imamo.
which create. Hi, thanks for your lecture. In the first example with the renderings, I didn't quite pick up on how do you prompt materialization through pen movement. I didn't get how that works. And did you use your own prompt library? What's the prerequisite for having such nice renderings that, like, swipe up?
You went with the pencil?
Yeah.
Oh, I made like a small AI model.
Right.
Trained just for an architecture, and I connected with the camera, and that's it.
Yes, I got that part, but specifically the materialization part, like of outer linings of the drawings, and it was quite precise with.
You mean geometry? No.
Yes. How did you translate geometry through which prompts, and did you use your own library for translating?
There is a little bit of text prompt as well, so that's how AI knows what's like on the paper. I'm not sure if I'm...
But do you choose materials directly?
Yes, I choose materials. I tell the materials, yes.
Through your own prompt library?
Through my prompt, yes.
Through your prompt library that you already created?
No, just through the prompt in like text prompt. I mean, the model already has its own libraries. So.
Can I just continue? Okay, so some of the experience using AI currently is that people expect it to speed up their process, and they end up actually spending a lot more time using AI than if they started by themselves from scratch. So how much does it actually help in architecture, and how much do you have to rework and fix it by yourself later on?
Well, most of the artists are using it in like first phases, I would say. But in terms of the research and getting informational data, it just like saves a lot of time.
It does for a lot of things, but
AI will not take your job like and replace and do everything, but on weak spots you can save like 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or maybe 8 hours a week, and then you combine, you get like maybe 2 days a week. So
I guess I'm also wondering about the accuracy of it all, but I don't think we're there yet when it comes to like major calculations and everything, but still, it was very interesting. Thank you very much.
But if we observe it as if we observe it as a tool that we architects are used to using since the beginning, we actually needed a lot of time once we first started using AutoCAD, for instance, in the first year of studies. So can we observe AI as a tool that we just need to get used to, and then we are going to get faster at using it and so on?
Well, yeah, that's a good comparison with AutoCAD. Like, I mean, the first AutoCAD was like, you had to type coordinates by yourself, but it was still faster than doing it manually. So
and when you as a student first use AutoCAD, you are extremely slow, but in like a month or two, you become faster, you know all the small nicks and nacks, and you know how to draw faster. So maybe with AI or using these Mid-Journey or programs like that, you become more used to it.
Yes, to some extent, I mean, I agree, but there is a difference. When I learned AutoCAD or Rhino or any other software, you had to go to tutorials and learn how like something works. And here, you just type what you want, and this is like a huge difference. So that's why you can like switch tools very very fast.
We have a question in the audience.
Elko, thank you for a great presentation. I'm interested, as probably each person here, is it possible to get the second angle of the same building? You know, mostly when you were sketching and showing off the renderings, it's great, but you have only one photo, and then you have investor that he wants at least 15 or 20 photos of the same building from each angle. But that's the biggest problem with AI, because as soon as we, let's say, change our angle of the building,
If you have a perspective view on something, you can get like two-dimensional elevation.
Yeah,
That's no problem.
but we need two photos. That's always
Yes,
the
you
problem with
need it.
AI.
I mean,
Yeah,
3D models
it looks
are coming.
Totally different building, even though we have the same prompt, same style of sketching, but just different angle.
Still, it's just an AI. It's not super smart.
Yeah, okay. So the problem is like
Not miracle.
still the same. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I have one more question.
Okay.
Like, is AI for anyone using it in this way, or we would need people like you there that is more into it? How friendly is for someone who doesn't have that much interest in using it, but like to making earning some time still? Like, is it better to to create collaborations with people who are into this, or it's like anyone can now just start and get it into it?
That's a tough question.
You can say you just
I
have to
can,
call me.
you can call me as well, but I do believe that like if you try it and fail and try and fail, like figuring out how to implement AI in your workflow, you'll get it. Like it's super fast. It's super fast. So it's not like a big deal. Like, oh, I'm going to learn Revit. No, it's not like that. It's much easier. So.
Good to know.
Okay, no. Is there any more questions? No. Okay.
Is there?
Wait, no.
We can't see you really well, except for the first two rows, so shout.
So thank you very much
Thank you.
for this
Thank you for
presentation. I think
invitation.
anyway we can continue if someone else has
Okay, thank you.
questions.
Of course, we have some time afterwards in the foyer. Kad se prebacimo nazad na naš jezik, došli smo do zaključka Dana arhitekture 2025. godine. Nismo ni mi svjesni da završavamo pola sata prije nego što smo planirali, obzirom da smo jutros kasnili pola sata. Vjerovatno smo malo umorni, radosni, tužni, što završava, radosni što je super prošlo. Ja se nadam da se i vi slažete sa nama. Emira?
Hoću ja na englesku, ne znam da li je još iko ostao od... Aha, yes,
Francesca
of course.
understands when we speak Bosnian. It's fine.
Just to thank everyone for being part of the festival, we arrived to the end of this year's edition. It was a big change also for us, as we mentioned in the beginning, new place, many different things that we saw during the festival, from exhibition, movies, projects, presentations, guests from different countries. So, I mean, we are excited to work on next edition and also to invite you to follow us, to be part of the festival in your work, things that you would like to share. Like, this is the platform to share, and this is the idea in general of the festival. So thank you for being part of it as well. And see you next time.